Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a miraculous Monday. A little Palo Santo for me, for you to bless the space. All right. I have a little one too. I do get that. I've got some incense going. I've got frankincense and dragon's blood. Just a little bit of incense and candle lit. Let's do a little bit of clear the space. You know what I did with my Statue of Liberty bell? Oh well. I recorded this. Did a whole session, and right at the end, just lost everything. So I'm going to go through and share with you what I have that went through, and it was incredible because Spirit was moving and things came up that were just incredible. Soul Healing Angel here. My name is Mary Beth. I hope you all are having or have had a miraculous Monday. I've had a very good day today. Start my week out here in the last, I was looking at the calendar, her full week in March. When I meditated this morning, the first word that came up was the word love. And that was just, the word that came to me. And I was thinking about that in many ways. Love of self, love of others, love of our pets. So there's many ways that we could look, we can think of love of the universe, the love that's given to us, the love that we give to others. The next word that came to me was the word forgive. This is a word I have struggled with, partly in forgiving myself, and then in forgiving others. I am recently divorced from a long marriage. I've struggled with divorcing. No, I didn't struggle with divorcing. Actually, the divorce was easy. We both agreed it needed to be done. It wasn't a good marriage. But some of the things that had happened, I will never forget. And I said, I will never forget. So I wasn't ready to forgive. At some point I will forgive. I think some of it is just forgiving myself. I think things had to happen the way they did. It made me stronger as a person. So anyway, so that word, forgive, and there are things that have happened prior to the divorce. The loss of a job. I actually ended up retiring because of maltreatment in a position. There were other teachers that were pushed away as well, and I've not been able to forgive for that particular mistreatment, and I will never forget. It's another area I need to forgive. And then prior to that, there was also a heartbreak, even though I was still married. I've been separated for many, many years, actually. And I thought that I was in a relationship. I was led to believe that was going to be a relationship. And I was betrayed in the relationship. I was ghosted. There were more things I think that happened than I knew at the time. I'm learning about things now. Again, I probably know. I need to forgive myself, and I need to forgive the other. But I will never forget, and I've not forgiven yet. There were things done intentionally in that particular relationship. Intentionally. Then I thought of my childhood sweetheart, high school sweetheart, my first boyfriend who drowned. That was a very traumatic experience for me and for many young people at that school. We were at a very small parochial school, and his death affected many, many young people. It affected me for the rest of my life. Something I will never forget. I always have a place in my heart for him. Um, and I'm getting close to the time of year when he drowned. It was in the springtime. I believe that he has come into my life, Jill, from time to time, as a guide. That he's there watching over me. There'll always be a place in my heart for him. Then my mother came to mind. We didn't have a wonderful relationship. We had a good relationship. She was tough. It was tough love. But she made me who I am. So in a sense, I'm grateful for that. But it wasn't always easy. She gave all of her children the gift of music. She was a fabulous musician. And in her last years, especially her last year, I had the opportunity to grow closer to her. So came to mind. Also, her mother came to mind, my Nani. That's what we called her, my Nani. And it was my mother's mother. She was a very kind lady, and she actually understood my mother, and she would try to help me to understand her, say, now listen, your mother's bark is worse than her bite. It's worse than her bite, and just try to help me, give me some insight to my mom. And she lived with us the last couple of years of her life. She died actually at 72, so she was actually kind of young when she passed away. She had lost her husband when I was born. My mother always said that I was there to help bring my grandmother out of her grief. And then another relative who had passed, my aunt that lived next door. She had never married. The house that was built next door, my father actually supervised the building of several houses, 3 houses that were built together. And my aunt was supposed to live with her mother, but her mother passed. She had a steady secretarial job in the town we live in, and she was very kind. She made everybody feel like, excuse me, everyone feel like we were her favorite niece or nephew. She was just really a very special lady, very special. And then I thought about the blessings in my life. And these people were blessings. I'm doing this because I was sneezing, not because I'm upset. And that I have gratitude for all the blessings in my life. Roof over my head, the animals in my life, my children, my adult children who are such good, kind people. They're healthy. And then it kind of went into a sort of a prayer session too, and gratitude. I was praying for health and healing of friends. Excuse me. And then I thought about what came to mind was Saint Germain and his violet flame, and I prayed to be washed in that violet flame. And then I thought about my dragon. I have a dragon, I believe, that watches over me, which I feel is a blessing. I was giving thanks for my dragon. So that's what came to me during my meditation. All right. So then I went to, when I had the session, I went to A Course in Miracles, okay? And so remember the word was forgive? Well, I opened A Course in Miracles, if I can find it here, and I found a page. Where is it? Well, before that, I read a couple things from Mother Teresa that really didn't have anything to do with forgiveness. There was reading about life and death. Mother Teresa wrote that every act of love is a work of peace, no matter how small. Can I find it all that she wrote? She wrote, when we realize that we are all sinners needing forgiveness, it will be easy for us to forgive others. We have to be forgiven in order to be able to forgive. If I do not understand this, it will be very hard for me to say, I forgive you to anyone who comes to me. Forgive and ask to be forgiven. Excuse rather than accuse. This is interesting. Never stop to do anything secretly. Hiding is the beginning of lying. Lie in action. And here's another thing, because I think I've been a victim of this. Violence of the tongue is very real, sharper than any knife, wounding and creating bitterness that only the grace of God can heal. When someone is doing something to hurt you, don't turn inward. Turn toward that person. He is hurting himself. You must learn to forgive, knowing that we all need forgiveness. If you want to be true to God, you must learn from Jesus to be meek, humble, and pure. We got to pray for that. And then Mother Teresa says, let us be very sincere in our dealings with each other and have the courage to accept each other as we are. Do not be surprised at or become preoccupied with each other's failure. Rather, see and find the good in each other. For each one of us is created in the image of God. I want to add this because this was what Mother Teresa put on her little cards, and she called her business cards. The fruit of silence is prayer. The fruit of prayer is faith. The fruit of faith is love. The fruit of love is service. The fruit of service is peace. It's beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Then I looked at my little book of Dalai Lama. See if I saved it. Oh, if I saved. Let's see. I may not find what I read this morning, but it is through listening that your mind will turn with faith and devotion, and you will be able to cultivate joy within your mind and make your mind stable. Mm-hmm. The greatest degree of inner tranquility comes from the development of love and compassion. That's from the Dalai Lama. Okay, then I turn to my course, The Course in Miracles, okay? And I turn to lesson 121. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Here is the answer to your search for peace. Here is the key to meaning in a world that seems to make no sense. Here is the way to safety in apparent dangers that appear to threaten you at every turn and bring uncertainty to all your hopes of ever finding quietness and peace. Here are all questions answered. Here the end of all uncertainty ensured at last. The unforgiving mind is full of fear and offers love no room to be itself, no place where it can spread its wings in peace and soar above the turmoil of the world. The unforgiving mind is sad without the hope of respite and release from pain. It suffers and abides in misery, peering about in darkness, seeing naught, yet certain of the danger lurking there. The unforgiving mind is torn with doubt, confused about itself and all it sees, afraid and angry, weak and blustering, afraid to go ahead, afraid to stay, afraid to waken or go to sleep, afraid of every sound, yet more afraid of stillness, terrified of darkness, yet more terrified at the approach of light. What can the unforgiving mind perceive but its damnation? What can it behold except the proof that all its sins are real? The unforgiving mind sees no mistakes, but only sins. It looks upon the world with sightless eyes and shrieks as it beholds its own projections rising to attack its miserable parody of life. It wants to live, yet wishes it were dead. It wants forgiveness, yet it sees no hope. It wants to escape, yet can conceive of none because it sees the sinful everywhere. The unforgiving mind is in despair, without the prospect of a future which can offer anything but more despair. Yet it regards the judgment of the world as irreversible, and does not see it has condemned itself to this despair. It thinks it cannot change, for what it sees bears witness that its judgment is correct. It does not ask, because it thinks it knows. It does not question, certain it is right. Forgiveness is acquired. It is not inherent in the mind, which cannot sin. As sin is an idea you taught yourself, forgiveness must be learned by you as well, but from a teacher other than yourself, who represents the other self in you. Through him, you learn how to forgive the self you think you made and let it disappear. Thus you return your mind as one to him who is yourself and who can never sin. Each unforgiving mind presents you with an opportunity to teach your own how to forgive itself. Each one awaits release from hell through you and turns to you imploringly for heaven here and now. It has no hope, but you become its hope. And as its hope, do you become your own? The unforgiving mind must learn through your forgiveness that it has been saved from hell. And as you teach salvation, you will learn. Yet all your teaching and your learning will not be of you, but of the teacher who was given you to show the way to you. Today we practice learning to forgive. If you are willing, you can learn today to take the key to happiness and use it on your own behalf. We will devote 10 minutes in the morning and at night another 10 to learning how to give forgiveness and receive forgiveness too. The unforgiving mind does not believe that giving and receiving are the same, yet we will try to learn today that they are one through practicing forgiveness toward one whom you think of as an enemy, and one whom you consider as a friend. And as you learn to see them both as one, we will extend the lesson to yourself and see that their escape included yours. Begin the longer practice periods by thinking of someone you do not like who seems to irritate you or to cause regret in you if you should meet him, one you actively despise or merely try to overlook. It does not matter what the form your anger takes. You probably have chosen him already. He will do. Now close your eyes and see him or her in your mind and look at them a while. Try to perceive some light in him somewhere, a little gleam which you had never noticed. Try to find some little spark of brightness shining through the ugly picture that you hold of him. Look at this picture till you see a light somewhere within it, and then try to let this light extend until it covers him and makes the picture beautiful and good. Look at this changed perception for a while and turn your mind to one you call a friend. Try to transfer the light you learned to see around your former enemy to him. Perceive him now as more than friend to you, for in that light his holiness shows you your Savior, saved and saving, healed and whole. Then let him offer you the light you see in him, and let your enemy and friend unite in blessing you with what you gave. Now you are one with them, and they with you. Now you have been forgiven by yourself. Do not forget throughout the day the role forgiveness plays in bringing happiness to every unforgiving mind, with yours among them. Every hour, tell yourself, forgiveness is the key to happiness. I will awaken from the dream that I am mortal, fallible, and full of sin, and know I am the perfect son or daughter of God. That's lesson 121. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Okay, after I read that, I went to the Angel Blessings, Kid Maroney, all right? And the card that I pulled, I kid you not, is this one. Stamera, forgiveness. I shuffled and shuffled just like I usually do. This was the one I pulled. I almost fell out of my chair. I did not plan this. Unbelievable. Whoops. Forgiveness. 43. Stamera, forgiveness. Stamera, beautiful Stamera, come into my life, beloved, and make me whole. Fill me with your forgiveness complete, washing away all remnants of my intolerance for my own imperfections. Stamera, blessed one, hold me in your arms of love. You are my friend and companion. Stamera, you are my bliss. Forgive yourself in order for healing to be complete. It is not possible to go back and change the past, but you can change how you feel about it. Forgiveness has a rhythm all its own as you progress. As you progress through the process of release and healing. If you force forgiveness, you have not yet learned the lesson of acceptance. We have been taught to blame our feelings rather than our experience for unpleasantness. No matter how far away you push feelings, they are yours. At some point, they will come back to you. Unpleasant feelings are your salvation, telling you to notice and inspiring you to take action. Often, the way you really feel in a caring way can transform an experience. If the other person is unwilling to understand, your feelings may be guiding you to leave a situation that is not right for you. This can be difficult when other options are not apparent. Call Stamera with all the desire of your heart and ask for strength, clear vision, and courage. When the behavior of another hurts you, this is a message from your eternal self exposing hidden feelings of guilt, shame, and self-hatred. If you had no such feelings, the other person's actions would leave you undisturbed. The first step is to admit how you really feel. Your body holds the feeling memory of traumatic events, just as your mind records images of events. The cells that hold these feelings are like boxes. You have to open them and feel what is inside to release the experience. Until you have the courage and desire to do this, the trapped emotional essence will recreate the pattern by magnetically attracting new people and new circumstances with a similar essence. This may seem cruel, but it is actually a gift from God to draw your attention to everything that separates you from love, as these behavior patterns do. Once you have deeply felt and released a trauma, also let the memory go. Forgive and you will be set free. Welcome new situations as guidance and ask Stamera to help you clearly see and understand these new opportunities. Occasionally, a deep level of healing and forgiveness is instantaneous. More often, it takes time. Trust your guardian angel and eternal self to lead you on the path to wholeness as quickly as you are able to progress. This is not a competition, neither are you perfect. You are a human, learning to be divine. Each time you expect yourself to be perfect and then judge yourself harshly when you are not, you are replaying another pattern that exposes a lack of self-love. When forgiveness is complete, you will feel serene, kind, happy, and loved. Your life will change to reflect your healing, ceasing the endless repetition of the same old patterns and freeing you to pursue your divine plan. More and more, you will realize that you are in Stamera's tender embrace. Even though you still live in the world of suffering and pain, your perception of it will have changed. You will no longer be overwhelmed by your own anguish. Instead, you will be filled with compassion and a desire to help when you feel the pain of others. The music that's recommended is Johannes Brahms' Den alles Fleisch from a German Requiem, Opus 45, The Heavens Are Sounding, and Lionel Richie, Put Some Joy in the World. I was just amazed. I think that was beautiful how that came up, because talking about forgiveness and that Stamera card came up. That was just Spirit working, Spirit being here. I say thank you, Spirit. Okay. Then I went to where's my cards? I'm stacking things up here. Okay. Kyle. Oh, my little tower there. Kyle Gray. And the one that came up was, where is it? For today was Summer. I keep these out in the book when it came out. So Summer. The message is, rise up, open your wings and shine. I always say, let that light shine, you know? Bring your projects and plans out into the light, into manifestation. Summer has always been recognized as a time for joy, for going on adventures and making memories. Flowers are in full bloom. Animals are enjoying the freedom of the wild summer days and nights, and people are taking holidays, basking in the sunshine and being lifted energetically by the light and warmth. The extended message is this is the perfect opportunity for you to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Light has come to banish the darkness. Clarity is arriving too. I've prayed for clarity, let me tell you. Allowing you to know exactly where you are and how you can move forward. Angels and ancestor guides are encouraging you to enjoy this moment and not to rush forward. Because this is a time for pleasure, enjoyment, and expansion. There is a great chance that you have extra energy, creativity, and inspiration at this time. Notice what is coming to you, as it is inspiration directly from the divine. When the summer card arrives in the future position of a spread, or as the last card in a reading, it can also indicate that the coming summer will usher in important energies with regards to your question or intention. Summer. Bask in joy and light. Beautiful. All right, so we had that. Okay. Then I looked at the chakra cards. Okay. Like I said, I got through a whole darn reading and then it just stopped. Somebody didn't want me to post this. It was the Three of Coins. Look at this. How beautiful. Three of Coins. Oh, Princess of Coins, not Three of Coins. Oh, what? Princess of Coins. I keep on saying that. Princess of Coins. The card of practical solutions. The princess holds the coin. She does not offer it. The peonies that grow at her feet imply wealth, an omen of physical manifestation and realistic expectations. Any project or idea may be in its infancy, and although not yet ready, solutions are coming. Stay focused. Chakra message. The Princess of Mystical Coins brings realism to your dreams. Open your heart to wealth. And see how the whole card is green? It's your heart chakra. Indication. A rejection is not an attack. It is an opportunity to review what you have created. It simply means not ready yet. Stay open to loving feedback. The other thing is I learned that rejection is God's protection. It also means not ready yet. Keywords: materializing, being practical, ideas, exploration, determination. Here's the meditation. In your mind's eye, the solution bridge is before you. Breathe and cross the bridge. On the other side is the answer. Though it may not yet be in your consciousness, journal or meditate on what would open your heart. Contemplation. If you have arrived, then what you desire already exists. Will you allow it into your heart? Princess of Coins, the card of practical solutions. Okay, last but not least, the last one is, I need all the cards here. I pulled up the 30. Beyond Your Fears, The Weaver's Dance. From Colette Baron Reed's cards. Dreamweavers. Essential meaning: the negative effects of prolonged fearful thoughts, moving out of fight, flight, freeze, being courageous in spite of fears. Beyond your fears, the Dreamweaver's dance, weaving the beautiful patterns of your life into the great weaving of all life. Let's get something in here. Oh, there we go. Fear, although a worthy self-protective emotion, engages your fight, flight, freeze response. This trauma response, which also includes submit / cry for help, is not meant to be sustained for any prolonged period. Perhaps you've experienced something in your life that has you constantly on patrol. Your brain is in survival mode, always seeking potential threats, trying to keep you safe, but also cutting you off from your connection with spirit. It's hard to move past your fears if you've been conditioned to expect the worst. Your inquiry now is shining a light on the idea of false evidence appearing real, rather than something actually worthy of fear. Take several deep breaths and release the catastrophe in your mind. There is nothing to worry about. Allow for what is to be what is. Now is the time to trust life, to trust yourself, and to trust the universe. Release your fears to the divine and step forward. You might feel vulnerable, maybe a bit exposed, but you will regain your confidence and sense of humor quickly. Now dust yourself off, stop ruminating, take a media break, and gaze into the field of potential that surrounds you. It's all about where your attention goes, isn't it? Beyond your fears, the weavers dance. So that's the message, and I hope some of this has helped you today. Remember, you are so loved. Suzanne Geisman shares with her spirit guides and says that they say that, that we are so loved. We have no idea that how loved we are, and that the Bible even has told us, in the end, there are three things that last: faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. I wish for you great love. I send you love. I also wish for you peace, and that peace that passeth all understanding. Namaste.